Hello and welcome to iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. This is UNCUT XCOM 2 Alien Hunters featuring Shen's Last Gift. Today, instead of getting introduced to a new soldier, we're going to take a look at what goes on behind the proverbial scenes. A crucial part of the success of an XCOM 2 playthrough is how you manage the strategy layer. In other words, how you spend your time and resources when you're not on a mission. So this is the Avenger, our mobile base of operations. First thing I always like to do after a mission is look through all my soldiers, give them promotions, fix their hair, stuff like that. On our last mission, our yet unnamed Spark unit got a promotion, so we're gonna take care of him first. For anyone watching that can think of a cool name for a giant death machine, leave it in the comments and you'll get a shout out on a future episode. The ability I selected for him is called Rainmaker. It increases the damage and radius of his rocket launcher attack. Now, arguably more important than promoting soldiers is changing their cosmetics. We're going to give one of our new soldiers, Ling Zhang, a shiny new Metal Gear Solid 4 Frog Trooper outfit, a mod made by Ninja Nyub. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but either way, you can find this mod on the Steam Workshop and probably Nexus mods too. If you think it looks cool and you want to use it for yourself, it's free, so check it out. Last thing we're going to do before we head out on a mission is some construction. Currently, we need to upgrade our resistance communications facility so we can make contact with more resistance groups around the globe. But in order to do that, we need more power. So, we're going to use some of the supplies we quote-unquote stole on our last mission to upgrade our power conduit. Then we're going to head back to our resistance comm and upgrade that. And now, we're pretty much done, so we're gonna go head out on another mission. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, of course, mostly gentlemen, it's time for a guerrilla ops mission, Operation Forgotten Stranger. It's an interesting name. Probably could have gone with something like Operation Stranger Danger. That might have been a little bit more catchy. But either way, this is a difficult mission. We have to destroy an Advent relay, and in doing so, we are going to be rewarded with 100 something intel, and that's going to be very valuable to us. And I always kind of forget the guerrilla ops missions counter dark events, but that's usually secondary to the reward that you get at the end of it. So let's pick up our squad and then hop right into the action. Alright, so as always, the squad has already been kitted out. We're just going to go over very quickly the different men, women, and machines that are coming with us. So as always, we've got the Spark heading up the back line. He still doesn't have a name, so if you can think of a cool name, leave it in the comments, and maybe he will be renamed to that name in the near future. So, next up we have, you know him, you love him, he's kind of everybody's favorite soldier at this point, well at least he's mine, Oliver Jones, our signature alien hunter with the Boltcaster, Frost Bomb, and the Tracer rounds. Next up is Candel Techno Jack, our specialist. He's got the Skull Mine and the Medkit. His abilities allow him to carry 3 medkits instead of just 1, so he's going to be very valuable if we get shot the fuck up. Next up is Agent Alpha. She's coming in as our trooper with the flashbang and the smoke grenade, always being tactical for us. Then we have Agent Delta, our rogue, with a incendiary grenade and dragon rounds. He gonna burn fools. He's a pyromaniac. Alright, and then we have Melissa Hayes. She is our explosive-oriented grenadier. She's wearing an exosuit, which means she has access to a heavy rocket launcher. But something that is also worth taking note of, we finally have upgraded our grenades, so we can now launch plasma grenades instead of the standard frag grenades, so those are going to do a little bit more damage, and that's going to be good, because fuck the aliens, right? Because we need to kill them. And last but certainly not least, that's Chang Lo Ho, holding up the rear. He's got armor-penetrating rounds and an acid grenade and a nanofiber vest, so he is going to be able to, with his ability, shred armor, but the damage that he deals is going to go through the armor. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that works. So let's get into it. Let's start up this mission.
Dr. Tigan has picked up a signal from a hidden alien communications relay sending data to the Advent network from this area. Anything we can do to disrupt the aliens' logistics increases our chances of stopping their progress. We'll need to secure the area and eliminate any hostiles, then destroy the relay before they finish their transmission.
And we are here. We are doing this mission. We look super cool, and we're ready to do some work. I love the nighttime city missions. They look incredibly beautiful. Just there's so much atmosphere. It reminds me a lot of Manhattan. I live very close to Manhattan. I live in the Bronx, so there's like, you know, it feels very kindred. It's very familiar feeling for me. So if you can't already tell, this is a post-game commentary, and the reason it is a post-game commentary is because it was very hot when I was initially recording this, and whenever it's really hot, my commentary gets really, really crappy. I do have the air conditioning on in the background, so if you can hear it, I'm sorry, but I'm not turning it off because it's really hot. So we have access to this sort of highway area. And what I'm doing right now is I'm scouting it out with our Spark unit to make sure there are no enemies up there. And if there aren't, then I'm going to move Oliver Jones there to get a nice height advantage on that first pod so we can take them out as easily as possible. But this is actually a bit of a tricky position because depending on how we move and depending on how we start off this first encounter and how we ambush them, that's going to determine whether the other pods that activate are gonna get the jump on us. Because if we activate in a position that's covered to one pod, when the other pods activate, they're gonna be flanking us. So we just have to be a little bit meticulous about how we place our soldiers. So in these first couple of turns, and we only have actually 8 turns, so this isn't like the previous mission that we were doing where we had the leisure to just kind of chill out. We gotta be a little bit more deliberate about this. So we do have a little bit of time before we actually start the engagement, you know, while we're still placing everybody. But man, let me tell you something, man. I've been too deep in the internet. The internet is like a rabbit hole, and you can go in it on the surface level. You can chill out around the edge of the hole, and you'll be fine. But if you go too deep in that rabbit hole, it starts to get crazy down there, man. It starts to get crazy, and it's a very uncomfortable place. The memes are very dank, you know. It's not cool, man. Reddit, that's what it is. Reddit. I recently discovered Reddit about probably in May, around the time when Battleborn first came out. That's when I started really using Reddit, and the pod is gonna start moving on their first turn, and this is actually the pod moving is actually going to pin down Agent Alpha in her current position because they actually have sight on her from her current spot, but because she's in cover, she's not going to get revealed, so that's good for us. But so at this point, we have to start the ambush even if we can't, even if we're not in the most ideal positions. But our positioning is pretty good, so I'm not too worried about it. But I first discovered like the power of Reddit and what Reddit is. Like I guess back in May, maybe the month before, March, April, May. I don't know the months apparently, and you know, I feel like as a human being that has lived a decent portion of his life without high-speed internet, sometimes I forget how ridiculous the internet can actually be. You know what I'm saying? And this is actually not a proper ambush. What I'm doing is I'm just tossing out a flashbang, and I haven't put anyone on Overwatch because I really want to see how this pod reacts to the throwing of the flashbang and where they move. But what ended up happening was really ridiculous. They just went into cover after they got flashed. And I guess I'm not mad at it, but that just seems dumb. And you know what? We're going to take a look at that again because this looked incredibly silly. So I throw the flashbang. Boom. They're all disoriented. Huh. What the hell was that? And they just crouch down right there, and that's their move. So now we're getting back into it. They've kind of set themselves up for failure. The codec is disoriented, so it can't split into multiple pieces. I have my new plasma grenades with upgraded grenade launchers, so they're going to cover a massive area, get some big damage on everybody. So now I can just kind of deal with this pod however I want. And because my turn hasn't ended yet, the other pods aren't going to activate yet. So this is kind of a freebie. So this mission that was originally going to be difficult is going to be a lot easier. Except maybe I'm going to get some misses, but it's going to be a lot easier just because I got this really nice start to it. So RNG was in my favor this time, but now we got the Three Stooges standing over here like, hey, what are we, guys? Guys, this isn't the way it was supposed to be. You know, it is. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not complaining about it. So yeah, we're just, we're switching over to Oliver Jones. We're taking people out as we need to. Boom, shooting that Codex stood no chance. Not even gonna get a split in there. It's beautiful. I love it. So I think I had dial-up internet for the first, I want to say 15 years of my life, maybe. I think I was on dial-up for about 14 years, and that's a long enough time to where I remember what dial-up was, and I remember when cable internet was like, do we really need this? And at this point in life, it's like, yeah, we need cable. We need high-speed internet. We need that files, that fiber optics, that good stuff. And I just want to take a moment to look at the beauty of this, but also the reason Agent Delta is getting to take another shot is because of the weapon that he's using, the Halo Reach M7 classless SMG. It has the ability to take 2 shots in a single turn if you don't move for the first action. So that's pretty cool, because each shot with that weapon only consumes 1 action point. So that's a pretty cool feature of that weapon from, I think the mod is called the Halo Reach Weapons or something. It's probably in the description at this point. But yeah, like nowadays, you can't live without high-speed internet. It's impossible. And all the pods are going to start activating, boom, boom, boom. But back in the day, it's like, we don't really need Fios and that shit, do we? Because we still got dial-up. Like, that's fast enough. That's fast enough. But speaking of fast enough, Big Mama here, and we need to eliminate her as fast as possible. So Big Mama is back. All right, I've been trying to keep it a secret, and I think I did a pretty good job of acting like I didn't know that Big Mama was on the field. So Big Mama House 2 is, no, this is Big Mama House 3. All right, it's about to begin, and now we've got to eliminate this Berserker Queen once and for all, because I am ready to shave it and make a suit out of it, okay? Because she's been appearing too much, and I'm just tired of it. 3 times is too much to see the same alien ruler. So we're gonna be, she is a decent distance away, so we're gonna be able to move a couple of guys, get them spread out before she actually gets here. So ideally only one person is gonna get caught in her initial ground and pound attack. So that's our MO for right now, is to get everybody spread out and in the best cover possible, because we're not going to be able to kill her in one fell swoop. So what we're doing right now is Chang Ho got the ability Run and Gun as one of his random bonuses. So we're going to activate that, and we're going to sprint him into some full cover. And now I have the choice of either taking a shot at him or going on Overwatch and doing whatever I need to do with him. And that's going to be, it's a tough choice. It's a bit of a tough choice at this point. I'll finish talking about the internet later, because this is Big Mom about to go down. Okay, so with Chang Ho, it's a tricky thing, because I can either launch the acid grenade, which will get the dot tick, or I could take a shot, because she doesn't have that much health left right now. This is a very manageable number, but if I take the shot with Chang Ho, which I believe that's what I'm going to end up doing, then it will proc one of his abilities, holo targeting, which will give everyone else a bonus to their aim when they take a shot at her. So that's going to be very helpful for us. And here it goes, the ground and pound. It's only going to hit Chang Ho. He is going to get stunned, but it's not even going to do that much damage, so I ain't even worried about it. He's like, what the fuck was that? Tickled. I'm still stunned, but it just tickled. So at this point, now we get to rain some death with the rest of our squad. We get to kind of pick and choose, and we are going to start off with the lightning hands from Oliver Jones, because that's a free action. You already know what the deal is, and I think it had a 100% chance to hit, so I was definitely not worried about that at all in the slightest. But yeah, but now it's with the internet, I'll just say this one last thing about the internet, is that sometimes I wish that I didn't need the internet as much as I do, and I'm struggling really hard to get this frost bomb in the right position to try, because I know it can reach. It can reach, but it don't want to go to the right spot. It doesn't want to get there. Wait, no, no, come on. I can do this. I believe in myself. There we go. But so because sometimes there's just this weird hive mind kind of thing that happens whenever I look at the internet, and it's such a weird thing looking at the way forums, especially forums that are talking about any sort of video game specifically, and there's like any sort of negativity or controversy around that video game, just the weird hive sort of attitude that starts to grow, and you really just get to see how hate groups become formed by what. If you want to learn about the science behind how any sort of evil organization gets formed and has been formed throughout human history, just take a look at video game forums before the release of a new game title, and then you will see how evil is born. Like, straight up, it's the most frightening thing in the world. And Big Mama, she about to go down. Like, whoever I take the shot with, she's gonna go down. I'm choosing my boy Candell Jack to finish off Big Mama House 3. She's done. She's dead. The queen is dead, and now we get to make a suit out of her, and hopefully that will appear sooner rather than later in our playthrough. Get a nice new armor piece with some new abilities, because the Alien Hunter DLC stuff is actually really cool. I like the way they look, and I like the abilities that they grant. So it's kind of a win-win. It's a cool piece of stuff. So I'm not really looking forward to the next Alien Hunter because it's the most difficult one. I mean, the Viper King was all right. Berserker Queen, serious pain in the ass. The final one, I won't spoil it if you don't know what it's called. So I think I might have mentioned it before. Anyways, it's the Archon King. Okay, the Archon King is very scary. It's got some very crazy moves and whatnot, and we're gonna have to shave him when the time comes. So, but now that the Berserker Queen has actually been eliminated, this mission has been downgraded from difficult to, I want to say, moderate, because it's just kind of just regular troops, a Mutin, and that's pretty much it. So it's not really too hard to deal with. But just to make sure I'm not feeling myself too much, that guy's going to get off a nice shot, and then the shield bearer is going to activate the shield, which is going to buff everybody. It would have been smarter if the shield bearer waited for the Mutin to get in range, but that's just not how the AI works. Thank goodness. They work based on pods. They don't all move in the most efficient way possible. So that's one of the upsides to the all pods active mod right there. So at this point, we've just got to get everybody moved up as safely as possible. But at the same time, we still have to follow the don't clump up too much mentality, because if we do get too close together within the range of the Mutin, then the Mutin is going to chuck a grenade at us, and Mutin grenades are plasma grenades, and they do a ridiculous amount of damage, and I don't want to take that damage. So there's that. So yeah, so we've got to be careful, but this mission is a lot easier now. And part of the reason why this, like, I'm not even stressed at the difficulty at this point is because I'm bringing the dream team a lot, and I'm gonna stop bringing the dream team in the next couple of missions. I'm gonna start bringing like the B team and start leveling up some different soldiers just so we can see some new faces, because I'm sure, like, let me know if this is true or not, but are you tired of seeing Oliver Jones wombo combo on everybody's face? Like, Oliver Jones is legit shitting on every enemy that crosses his path, and I gotta give somebody else the spotlight. That's all I'm saying. Somebody else has to have the right to shine, and it's very unfortunate that attack missed. The last ability that I selected with the rogue is actually one of one of the cooler things that I've seen from one of the class mods is that the ability allows him to make half cover full cover, but it gives him -5 to his aim chance. So that's kind of a nice pros and cons thing. So now with the rogue, he can move around the battlefield more effectively, and he's always in full cover, but his accuracy suffers as a result. And the Halo Reach SMG already has a ridiculously bad optimal range. I think it's like 4 or 5 tiles is the optimal range, and then anything above that you start to get reduced chances to hit. So it's an interesting weapon to play with, and it's one of the more difficult weapons to handle the SMG. Even the Long War SMG is kind of, difficult to work with just because that optimal range is so low. But once you get comfortable with it, and once you start to realize, okay, I've got to get in close to be effective with this thing, you start to see the battlefield in a different way. And this, I'm activating overdrive, and I'm about to go crazy. I'm just gonna shoot everybody. He getting some. You getting some bullets. You getting some bullets. This is gangster Oprah. You get some bullets. You getting some bullets. Everybody getting some bullets out here, because we shooting everybody. And that's all. Gangster Oprah. What the fuck am I talking about today? I don't know. Is my point. But my point is that you can download mods for XCOM, if you don't know, from the Steam Workshop and nexusmods.com/XCOM2 if you like to install them manually, because that's fun. Because before XCOM 2, I haven't been into modding. I never played. That is a nice Overwatch right there. Boom, look at that. But before playing XCOM 2, I wasn't into modding, and I wasn't into that much customization of my gameplay experience. But it's a lot of fun. So if you do have a PC and you're playing XCOM 2 and you're thinking to yourself, I want to mod, I'm thinking about modding. I want to see what this whole modding thing is all about. Try it out. It's a lot of fun. It's cool. And look at that. The Mutant is going to take a shot. Thankfully, we positioned ourselves well enough so that he can't reach us with a grenade to hit both of our troops. I'm pretty sure, generally speaking, that the AI won't throw a grenade at a single isolated target. I very rarely, if ever, have I seen a mutant or even an advent captain throw a grenade, or an advent trooper throw a grenade at a soldier that's standing by themselves. Now, advent is calling in reinforcements on this mission, so in an ideal world, I'm going to be able to eliminate the enemies that are on the field right now, and then I'll be able to deal with the pod as it comes without having to fight a battle on two fronts once again. So now at this point, we've got to do a little bit of finagling. We have a lot of options, and the first option that we are going to take is with Oliver Jones. But the trick is, do I want to go for that single target guaranteed damage with him, or do I want to forget that this guy was on Overwatch, but I got lucky and it missed? The face-off ability is something that I don't use nearly as much as I probably should, but I am going to end up using it again. But with Oliver Jones, because his shots deal so much damage that they're almost always a guaranteed kill. So it's always the debate, do I want to just take that bolt caster shot and eliminate somebody, or do I want to get some area damage? So first things first, let's chuck out an incendiary grenade. Boom, we're going to kill one of them, and then the mutant is going to be on fire, and it's going to shred a little bit of his armor. And then we are going to switch back to Oliver Jones. We have 2 targets in our sights, and we can potentially eliminate both of them if we get high rolls with our face-off ability. So what the hell, YOLO, let's try it. Boom. Boom. So we only eliminated the mutant, the advent captain. I think that was a graze or a miss. So it's unfortunate. But yeah, the face-off ability, once again, highest potential damage ability in the game. Unless there's 20 units clumped together and you can hit them all with one grenade, face-off is just always going to have the highest potential damage out of any ability in the game, I think. And look at that, 12 damage, 1 armor shredded, armor penetrating rounds. I'm pretty sure they shred so armor penetrating rounds with the shredder ability from a grenadier. It shreds the armor and the damage goes through the armor. I'm pretty sure that's what we just saw. So if anybody does have a confirmation on that, how those two abilities interact, the armor penetrating rounds and the shredder ability, but that was some massive damage. And now we are going through a hacking thing with Candale Techno Jack, so we're going to get a small cache of supplies. We have a 100% chance to get that. Boom, I like it. I'll take it. I'm not complaining about anything that's happening right now. I'm definitely not complaining. But you know who is complaining? I don't know if anybody's I don't know if anybody here that is currently watching is interested in Titanfall 2, but right now, if you are interested in that game, they are having a technical test for their servers. You can download it for free on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and whew, those forums are out of control on Reddit. And that is why I got into that whole conversation about the internet and the hive mind stuff, is because I've been reading too much of the Titanfall 2 forums, because I love watching it spiral out of control, even though it's just so crazy at the same time. So we are going to eliminate this last guy. So we did actually manage to eliminate that entire pod in one fell swoop, and then Melissa Hayes is going to get a promotion out of it. So now we just have to clean up the objective and then clean up this new pod that is coming down. And we're going to activate this new ability from Agent Alpha. It's called Spread Out. It's just going to give everybody around her an increased chance to dodge attacks, which is pretty cool. But I never tried it out before, so I don't even know if it really works. But we'll find out. If somebody gets shot the fuck up and they dodge it, then that means it works. That's all I'm saying. All right, so now, pretty simple pod. We've got an Advent Mech, Stun Lancer, Basic Trooper, and a Captain. Not too crazy. It's not even a Heavy Lancer. He doesn't have any armor, so this is actually not a difficult pod per se. But it could still go wrong, you know, because that's the thing with XCOM and life in general. Even if everything looks good, even if you chilling, because I've been chilling through this whole mission, man. But even if you're chilling, stuff could still get out of control like that, right? You think you got it all figured out. You're on that date and everything's going well. You're like, hey, this dinner was so amazing. You want to go out for some ice cream? I know this great spot. It's only 2 blocks away from here. You acting like you just kind of thought of that on the fly, but you knew that ice cream spot was nearby. And look at that, we got a nice grenade hitting all 3 of them and blowing up a car. Get the hell out of here. Boom, baby, boom. But yeah, so, you know, I know about this ice cream spot. You want to get some ice, you want to get some cream. And you go out, you walk those 2 blocks, 3 blocks, whatever. You get to the ice cream shop, and that shit is shut down because of mice. They had a rat infestation. They got an F rating on the door. It's done, closed, evacuated. My point is, things can go wrong, right? So if I didn't get lucky with that grenade, if they spread out a little bit more, then I wouldn't have been able to deal so much damage to them. And now at this point, I just have the free reign to pretty much select who I want to get the kills and how I want to finish them off. And beautiful, beautiful. Sometimes I'm gonna miss Oliver Jones once he gets max rank. I really am, because I'm gonna hang him up for a little while. I'm gonna let him take a break. He has just been on a constant rotation from. I think it was when Lana Rodriguez died. She was one of our first soldiers that we talked about and that we gave like a backstory and everything. And she got, for anybody that remembers, she got shot by a sectoid. And ever since then, I haven't had a pure sniper, but Oliver Jones has been filling that role. And I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at the man. But at this point, you can tell that we've won. We've won. The mission is pretty much over. We just have to eliminate the remaining enemies. What we are going to try and do is we're going to try and skulljack this guy so maybe we can get some extra intel from him. The jack is going to end up failing, but he's still going to take damage from it. So that's nice. I can't remember if I put the missed shots do damage mod on Candale Jack's weapon, but that's probably what happened there. But yeah, the mission's over. We did win. And we're opening up the console menu. So for anybody that doesn't know about the console commands, this is how you gain access to the quote-unquote cheat menu. This is where you can spawn things in. But what I wanted to do is I just wanted to hide the UI temporarily so I could get a look at that vending machine. I just thought it looked kind of cool. It's one of the screenshots that I'm going to keep just for shits and giggles, you know. Because I thought it was kind of cute. A little vending machine. I don't know. What, am I weird for thinking a vending machine in XCOM is cute? I don't, don't judge me based on what I just said. Judge me based on what I've been saying throughout the course of this whole playthrough. And I'm sure you've got a lot of reasons to both simultaneously love and hate me. So with that, the name of the game is XCOM 2. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR Game for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.